Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Division podcast, Division 6 podcast of the season. I am Peeze, Della, Reeze. I'm joined in studio by my co-host and brother, David Della, Rocca.
Della, Reeze.
Della, Reeze.
Get that right.
This is the Super Flag Bros Division 6 podcast. I want to thank FPF Nation for tuning in live. For those of you who haven't tuned in live, thanks for downloading and listening. But if you just download and don't listen, it's okay. The sponsors pay us anyway. I just want to take a quick moment to introduce who we are. First, I'll let you go ahead, Duke. You've been my brother since you've been born because that's how biology works. But tell us about your involvement in the league.
Right. So I've been playing for the league for how many years, Eagle? A lot of years. I already forgot. It's been that long.
It's been that long. Let's say 5-ish.
Yeah. I mean, I started off. We started off.
2011. It was 2011.
Is that it? I started off at the bottom, and now we're here.
Apparently, I've heard that to be true of many cases.
And you know what? Along the way, I've lost many matches. I've won very few. Matches.
One of those matches you lost was with your microphone just now.
Is that it? It was off the whole time.
Yeah, it's okay.
This is just not starting properly.
No, it's a rough start.
No, but I mean, like, I had a podcast a while back. It was taken away from me. Mm-hmm. We don't know why. We're not sure why it got taken away. But
because you had a less talented host to lead you along the way, I believe.
Slow con.
Yeah, slow con. It's a Korean though.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Myself, I'm Peeze, Della, Reeze. I started playing the league with my brother. We started a team called Punch Panda, which was the worst team in history.
Ever.
So as bad as you guys do this season, remember, there was always one worse.
We didn't win a game. We
tied one.
We tied.
Kiss your sister.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. We don't have a sister, luckily, or else that'd be really creepy. Thank you, Brett Callender, for his off-camera comments. He joined us in studio, as well as the Eagle at Master Control, who's turning all the knobs and making us all very excitable. We apologize for the delay. The rest of the podcast for the rest of the season will go smoothly, I promise. We just had some technical difficulties setting up for the first night in our new home at Coast to Coast Studios. Remember, after the podcast tonight, or actually in between the podcast tonight, you can stick around and watch The Uncle Mike Show. You are, of course, watching on www.theunclemikeshow.com. He has guests, I would imagine. At one point, Eagle will tell me who's on there, and we'll be able to convey that information to you as well. So, I think the goal of this podcast is going to shift throughout the season, Duke. Okay. I think what I want to do early on is I want to touch on the games, but at the same time, I want to help out the new teams because we went through it. We did. We had a terrible team, and we had actually help from a lot of guys in the league who helped get us to a point where we were able to play on teams and build teams that were successful, made the playoffs. We had an undefeated season at one point.
But it was intimidating, though.
Yeah, of course.
It really was, because we came into the league, everyone was really serious.
Yeah.
We weren't serious at all.
Not at all.
We didn't know any of the rules.
We thought you can block.
No, yeah.
You had a triple rush play in the
triple rush play.
Don't do a triple rush play.
Do it.
It doesn't work.
Do it. It does work.
Ever. So the thing is that we want to make it somewhat instructional as well as ridiculous and fun.
Is it legal, by the way, doing a triple rush play? Is it legal?
Is it legal?
Yeah.
I mean, will you be arrested?
If you were to do a triple rush play,
yeah, it's illegal. You're leaving two guys uncovered.
Amazing.
But yeah. Anyway, so we'll try and give you a hand. If you see us on the sidelines, if you see any of the league employees on the sidelines, and you have a question about the rules, or just, hey, I did this and it didn't work, or hey, the referee called this for some reason, we'll tell you. We'll help you out. That's what we're here for.
Chances are they're only going to come to us when we're mad about something, though.
Yeah, like, hey, fix my stats. I had 18 touchdowns this week. And it'll be Brett Callender's fault because he is the worst stat keeper.
Terry Tam almost had 18 touchdowns this week.
Well, according to the stat page, which is... we're having some issues with the webpage, people. For those of you who haven't been yet, but somehow found the podcast, amazing. It's www.flagplusfootball.com. We got some bugs to this new website, but it's getting better and better each day. I caught some games this week, and one of the ones I caught was LA's Finest versus the Mountain Goats. And it was cool for me because it was two brand new teams.
Right.
So LA's Finest, or as I like to call them, La's Finest, they put a whooping on the Mountain Goats, and it was their first game ever. So you have on one side this team coming into the league winning their first ever game. On the other side of the coin, you have this team coming in and basically didn't know what to expect. And,
right.
And they you can see like halfway through the game they kind of got the feeling of like, is this going to be a long season?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, first of all, hold your head up because every game takes its own shape. So we'll see how it goes. Also, I noticed there's a few guys from your roster missing that game, so we'll touch on that later. But one thing I noticed from the finest, from the Las Finest team, Las Finest, is that they had played man most of the game, and I want to bring this to your attention because we haven't had a chance to speak about it since. But you're sort of like a defensive guy, because you lack the intelligence and the ability to catch a ball and run routes.
No, but it's so true, though.
Offense.
It's so true.
I know. I'm not,
I don't even understand.
That's
I don't
just
understand.
the way it goes.
I don't understand.
I mean, we have the same father. He taught us the same skills. I don't know how it went. But anyway, just to say, I want to touch base with you. They played man all game. Do you think this is a sustainable way for a team to win games down the line?
Well, it really depends on who you're playing. I mean, it like man is specifically a play that works when you really know that you have the best athletes on the field. Mm-hmm. Like if you have the best athletes on the field and you have very knowledgeable players, which is sometimes it's hard to tell when you're a rookie team. It's your first season in FPF. Mm-hmm. You're not quite sure, if these are the right guys. Honestly, even playing in Division 3 and stuff, I want to play man every game as much as possible. But the fact is, like, if you feel like you are athletically dominant, does that make sense? Athletically dominant. But if you feel like you have the faster players, the smarter players in the field, why not? You put so much pressure on the quarterback. Playing zone sometimes it really, what ends up happening is your players are stuck, if you're playing a specific zone. But if you have an athletically dominant team, if you feel like your players are fast enough, the other team came out slow, it could be the kind of play that you can run consistently every play, and it can really mess with the other team.
What kind of zones would you run? Like, what are the zones that do work in FPF?
Well, we commonly run 4-1 in lower divisions. 4-1 is a cover 4.
So you have 4 guys short.
4 guys short.
Free safety in the back.
Free safety in the back.
A lot of times you'll lock the corners in case
you always don't lock the corners anyway, because you're leaving yourself vulnerable if everybody's short. But the idea with the cover 4 is you're putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and it's a kind of play that works very well against quarterbacks that aren't very smart. They base their whole offense off of one read. Yeah. And there's a lot of quarterbacks in Division 6. No, you're not like that. No, but there's a lot of quarterbacks when I was reporting on Division 6 previously in other seasons that there's some quarterbacks coming into the league. They're not used to the FPF. They're not used to flag. They're not used to a rusher coming at them full speed. They have to make their decision fast. And a 4-1 can work very well because you have a free safety all the way back, and you have your corners on the outside. When we say corners, we're talking about the defensive players that are specifically on the exterior,
closest to the sidelines,
left and right side. You lock those two down, because commonly, especially in Division 6, they're going to go deep. Those two receivers are going to go deep, right? Yeah. So you want to lock them down, and by doing that, you end up having a nice containment on anything that's short. So 4-1 is a zone that works very well if you want to complement your man coverage. Yeah.
What about like the traditional Tampa 2 or even a cover 3 defense?
Cover 3 defense is pretty fun to use. It's a fun defense to use, especially if you're covering a lot of ground. Like if the offense has, let's say it's a 4th and 15 type of situation. You have a lot of ground to cover. Sometimes having a cover 2 situation, a cover 2 where you have three playing up front and 2 deep, that might not always work. You might leave yourself vulnerable right deep down in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would say cover 4 and a cover 3 complement a man coverage very well.
That makes a lot of sense. I want to remind everyone they can live tweet the show. Let us know what they think by tweeting us at EagleFPF, and our wonderful producer will read out your tweets, and we'll be able to respond to it live. Of course, after and before the shows, if you want to reach us, you can reach us directly at
Dave's Republic. Dave's Republic.
Not be confused with at Dave's Republic. Sorry?
And Dave's Republic.
I can't hear you.
It's on the screen right now.
It's on the screen right now. That's amazing. I can't see it because it's not on my screen.
Well, what do you think though? I mean, if you're
I'm also at Peeze FPF.
At Peeze FPF. No,
go ahead.
Right. But you just started playing quarterback recently. Like,
yeah.
You're not a rookie, but it's your second season playing quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like if you're confronted against a defense that plays a lot of man coverage, do you feel that like that's something that you have a problem against, or what?
The thing is, as a quarterback, if you know what the defense is doing before you get the ball in your hand, you'll convert the play. If you're an experienced quarterback, if you've even had a couple of games, if you're confident, you know what they're going to do. So you know, in your head, you know the play. You know who's going to be open. You know how to exploit that defense. So the best thing to do is to mask the defense. But I think before you can even get there, you really need to understand your zones, understand how to switch in and out, when to play man, when to, like, just situational.
But
play
I think
the right situation.
and I think the specific strength of man, it's not just about playing man. You can't run a man coverage the same way every single specific situation. You know, if you're playing in a situation where, you know, the offense has to get 15 yards, you probably want your DBs to your outside corners or DBs to play more of an inside shade. You know, to combat against let's say a slant or a post.
Of course, no, it makes a lot of sense. The on the other side of the coin, we had the mountain goats.
Yeah, we should probably explain that.
And they, one thing I noticed about them, like, they had a rough game, but there were 6 guys, so I had to throw the ball back into them when their offense got back on the field. And what I noticed was they were using this atrocious rubber football that I don't throw the nicest ball in the world, the most catchable ball, but I can barely get a grip on it. Guys, I can't stress the importance of getting a good ball. Even if if you're 10 players, it's $10 each. Get a leather ball. If you're not comfortable with a leather ball, get a good composite ball, because your receivers have to catch it, your snappers have to touch it every play. It sounds dirtier than I meant it. The quarterback's got to be able to throw it down the field. A lot of these rubber balls, they're heavier, they're harder to throw, they're harder for your receivers.
But are they more mushy? Are they more mushy to catch? Though maybe that's why they play with them.
It doesn't.
Hey, man, not everybody's rich like you, man. Not everybody's just.
I just said
swimming in money.
Hit up your teammates for. That's how I got this cardigan. Hit up your teammates for money is what I'm saying. You know, like, everyone chip in an extra $10.
Oh yeah, that's simple. Yeah, us both being GMs, you know how hard it is to get money out of your players.
That's true.
Yeah, just tell them I want $10 extra. No, but that's not a bad idea. You know what? Before the season starts,
you make them understand what it's for.
No. Screw that. What you do is you add an extra $5 to the registration, and you get yourself a real football and stop messing around.
Exactly. Obamacare beat up on Jean-Guy.
That's the best team name so far.
Yeah, well, I think the concept of Obamacare beating Jean-Guy. So it's kind of, I mean, like, it's kind of politically aware, in my opinion. They went at 30-25. Jean-Guy scored towards the end of the game to make it look a little bit more respectable than it was. But congrats on Obamacare coming in and beating Jean-Guy in their first game.
Right.
And the quarterback from Obamacare, Jordan McInnes, he looks so much like that dude from Red Dwarf, which no one has seen outside of me, because I'm ancient.
No idea what you're talking about.
But IMBD that, because, dude, you look exactly like him. It's awesome. Anyway, that being said,
does anybody IMDb anything anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
I'm sure they do. Brent, do you IMDb stuff?
I don't even know what that means.
Right.
That's amazing. Brent doesn't even have a phone, everyone. The thing is, Obamacare, good concepts. I really was impressed by that in the first game. They're guys who obviously play tackle football before. They understand routes. They understand like, if I run a post and I run a 5-yard out under it, it'll work. One of those 2 guys will be open, you know? That being said, I thought that they made it a little bit more difficult than they had to. And that's one thing I want to stress too. Like, you don't need 50 plays to win an FPF game. Well, it's only 44 minutes long, time running, plus 5 plays.
Right. Well, we were there, though, when our first season. We had
of course.
A bajillion plays.
And typically, for example, like, I have 25 to 30 plays in my playbook. In a game, I'll run 5 or 6.
Right.
Because these are the 5 or 6 concepts I feel comfortable against the defense that I'm seeing.
But it's just like, look, if you're trying to pick up a chick, 25 plays doesn't work. 1 or 2.
I guess.
The less the better. You know?
It's true. Unless you just fire them off one after another and then see if she catches one of them.
Right.
Oh, astronaut! Yes! That's the one.
It works.
That being said, you know, I think there's a lot to build on. Simplify it, and this team, they're going to be the surprise team of Div 6. They'll be very interesting to watch. Very athletic, very strong, very big, very fast. I like watching them play.
But what do you think of Carl Doyon, though?
Carl Doyon? Well, of Jean-Guy.
Right.
Yeah, excellent player.
I was
going to say his quarterback, Christophe Chartrand, is the most improved quarterback I've seen. In his first season, and I don't mean to insult the guy, because this is actually a compliment. Dude, your first season, you threw up ducks, you know? Now you're playing duck hunt.
Yeah,
you're knocking him down.
It looks like there's more velocity in this throw.
Absolutely. More velocity. He's more confident delivering it. They were using a lot of plays where they had a receiver coming in motion.
Right.
And then sort of hitting him on a quick out and letting him take it upfield. I thought that was a cool way to use a lot of the guys they had in it's not a gimmicky way like a wildcat necessarily. It's just be able to hit a guy in motion.
But I think,
with a full head of steam.
but I think more importantly, I think that Jean-Guy as a team has matured a lot since last season.
And that's what I want to stress is like it's Division 6. You guys aren't superstars.
Who says?
I says.
Okay.
And also watching the games, like it's good. You guys are great. You guys are having a good time. You guys are developing the skills that you're gonna need moving up in divisions. But the only way you can do that is by sticking with your quarterback.
Yeah, no, that's
by changing. You see Division 6 teams do this all the time. Stick with your guy. Develop him. He's not gonna get better unless he gets more snaps.
That's true. But I think also by identifying who their key offensive player is in Doyon, I think it really, really helps them. And that's something that they didn't have last season. They didn't really have that main receiver.
Well, he was there. He was there last season.
No, he was, but he wasn't the focal point of their offense.
Well, I think that's it. Just taking time for the quarterback to develop his chemistry with the players. And you start to see that with Jean-Guy. Wolfpack beating Goon Squad 58-0 in the most lopsided of the blowouts, of which there were many this first week. First of all, Terry Tam.
What about it?
Quarterback of Wolfpack. Also, media member you can catch later on some of the podcast. Tisk. I don't mind running up the score. I'm of the belief it's not your job to stop your own offense.
Right.
That being said, you don't need to be throwing 40 bombs when you're already winning in a blowout.
Why not?
It's unnecessary. Work on some other stuff. You have to win other games in the future. I just shame on Terry Tam. I'm not against the team blowing out another.
What you're saying is this isn't college football. It's not about running up the score.
Well, it's not because we're not voting to see who's going to be number one, right?
Yeah, but maybe
you win by 58 and then you lose by 1 the next week. You're still 1-1.
Right.
You're still going to be a middle of the pack team.
Yeah, but it's all about confidence. I don't see any issue with him throwing more touchdowns. You're saying, I understand.
I'm saying it's not necessary to throw bombs. Run your offense, but don't go out of your way to.
But maybe his offense is throwing bombs.
That's why
No, it's Terry Tam. He doesn't have an arm. That being said, there's a lot of blowouts this week. And I want to discuss that. For new teams coming in, it's going to be frustrating how to handle them.
Don't kill yourself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Duke should be hired by the suicide helpline.
Don't do it.
What I'm going to say is on this subject is, again, it's not the offense's job to stop themselves. So it's time for you to step up, try and do something, stay competitive in the game, and take your licks. It's okay. Don't get frustrated. Don't try and hit somebody out of frustration. Don't be angry on the
field. And it happens very frequently.
Yeah, and you just cut it out. It's not necessary. The thing is, everyone got their weapons. Every team out there,
absolutely.
No matter how good they are,
the best of the best.
They all got to be.
No, Montreal Finest. I know. When was the last time they got a whipping?
Probably in childhood, I would imagine. Childhood. But or before they had Kevin Wyeth.
Right.
Or after Kevin Wyeth.
But I get what you're saying. It's like don't overreact to one specific game. Yeah.
Like in our second game, and we lost 40-0. And we're pretty ticked off, but you know what? You learn from that, and you remember that, and we're friends now with a lot of the guys from Les Affreux back in the day who beat us.
That gave us a whipping. No, but I think what's most important is to not really take out your anger on a team that's beating you, but to reflect on what it is what you can improve on. Because the fact is, this isn't the easiest sport to grasp, and a lot of teams they come into the league thinking that it is an easy sport, but there's a lot of intricacies to it. You see that word right there? Intricacies.
Absolutely. We're going to work more on your polysyllabic words during our break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some of the top teams in the division. And we're back. Thank you, everyone, for holding with us. I am, of course, Peeze, Della, Reeze. You can follow me at Peeze FPF. I'm joined with my co-host, Deez, Della, Reeze.
These.
You can follow him at Dave's Republic.
Yep.
Of course, in order to tweet the show live, you can tweet our producer at EagleFPF. And, of course, if you're watching on www.theunclemikeshow.com. If you have trouble hearing my voice, you can see it right over there. This is the Division 6 podcast, Super Flag Bros. And I like I do before every season, was watching Top Gun because it's awesome.
No, it's the best. It's the best pregame.
The breast pregame.
The breast pregame.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It really psychs me up every time.
It sex you up every time.
It does. It does. I wanted to go to discuss the top 3 teams. I wanted to make it Top Gun themed.
Yeah.
You're in the danger zone.
I am.
You tell me who the top 3 teams are. Who's your Maverick? Who's your Iceman? And who's your Viper?
But what's the difference between Maverick and Iceman? Because they were both very similar in the movie.
Pretty much, they're identical.
One was blonde and one was black hair.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So who's your blonde hair team? Who's your black hair team? And so on.
For my Maverick, I'm gonna go wax on, wax off. I think that they're literally the most stacked team in Division 6.
Okay.
By far.
Why so?
How so? I just think they have the best roster. They have the most athletic roster. Now for Iceman. My Iceman pick?
Just quickly to touch on that.
Yeah.
For wax on, wax off.
I didn't realize how fast we were rolling this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's okay. We're going to go quickly, but I'm slowing down for just a second.
Cool.
We got... they allowed 1 completion.
Right.
It's not a statistical error.
Right. No.
I spoke to them. They allowed 1 completion all game against Orange Crest this past week.
Yep.
So that's absolutely ridiculous. That looks to be a dominant defense.
And on a side note, I really expected Orange Crush to pick their things up a little bit this season, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. Who is your Iceman?
Wolfpack.
Wolfpack being your Iceman.
Absolutely.
So 6 athletes plus Terry.
Well, because I think that what it is it's mostly because I think that an experienced quarterback in Division 6 is a very valuable thing. A very, very valuable
Terry
thing.
Tan playing in his 2nd FPF season at quarterback.
No, he's experienced. Nonetheless, he's experienced.
Fair enough. I kind of agree. I think they have. I have a different list from you so far, but I kind of agree as well that they're going to be up there. I think Terry surrounded himself with a lot of talent.
Yeah, no, that's important.
And Terry learned a lot last season, and he got hurt last season.
He did. Playing for
me,
playing for my team.
There we go.
No, actually, he was playing for another team anyway. Doesn't matter.
Just to say, sitting on the bench and watching Yakub, I think he learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yakub Telemark, of course, of Wolfpack. I think that helped him a lot.
But it's also seeing him injured. It was really like you could tell that he wanted to come back really strong. So for my Viper, Las Finest, definitely.
You think Las Finest?
Yep.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know. I just think they had a strong showing this week. You know, I mean, it's really hard to tell right now after 1 week. I mean, next week they might get blown out. But that's
no one's going to remember by week 10.
Based on the performance this week, which was very, very strong, a very strong defensive performance as well as a very strong offensive performance, I think that they're up there.
Okay. Who's your goose? Who will not quite make it to the movie? Like, they're awesome.
Yeah, but
unfortunately, they're not going to make it.
Someone's going to shoot down their wings.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pocket wash. I'm sorry, buddy.
Why is that? Why do you think so?
I don't know.
I'm not that good?
I think that you are a very capable quarterback, but I question the players that you surrounded yourself with.
Right. That's true. Playing with Eagle at Master Control, it's a questionable decision.
It's a matter of maturity. I really think it's a matter of maturity. Very immature
and he
players.
does look like a shrunken, uglier Mark Wahlberg. I actually think NWO steps it up. I think this is the year.
Definitely.
They're my Maverick.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are going to kind of irritate a lot of teams because they're weird style, but they're going to be obnoxious. They're going to be awesome. I say more power to NWO. I'm happy to see them winning their first game of the season.
Are they still running Wildcat plays is my question.
I actually haven't had a chance to see them play, but I saw that Sanchez had 3 runs and then Steven Torelli had 4 runs. So it looks like they are, but they're finding a way to make it work for them. As for my Iceman, my blonde guys, I'd have to go absolute wax on, wax off. I kind of agree with you. I like that defense.
No, it's literally the most stacked defense in Division 6.
I think so. I don't know how well they move the ball on offense, but I think they have a defense that can make a difference. My Viper is actually going to be part of my swag. I played against them in preseason, was really impressed by them. They have a really tall, fast rusher, an incredibly...
you notice how short the quarterbacks are in Division 6? They're very short.
Yeah. It's a thing.
They don't have any tall,
It's why we started in Division 6. We don't have any monster quarterbacks, no. And my goose, the team that will look great and have their wings shot down, much like in the movie Broken Arrow.
And you will
with Christian
cry.
Slater.
You will cry.
Yeah, absolutely. I will cry for this year's Christian Slater, which is Terry Tam and Wolfpack.
You're crazy.
I don't believe in it long
You're
term.
crazy.
I don't think it is anything
You should have
special.
chosen yourself.
I can't choose myself.
Really?
I'm taking myself out of the equation.
Terrible.
I actually don't even think we'll be that great to begin with. So, that being said, I just wanted to let everyone know the next segment is going to be a little bit disturbing. Most of you might want to hide your children and wives if you got them. Otherwise, hide your parents if you're still living at home. Either way, it's Science Hour with Duke. It could go anywhere. It's just a little silly thing we do every once in a while.
You want to give him
I'm
that
gonna
background?
Yeah, once in a while when Duke and I would have too many adult juices.
Beers.
That's the one.
Too many beers.
We would do this thing where I would throw a scientific concept to Duke. He would do his best to explain it in the most ridiculous way possible. I will not then explain it to you. I'll just roll with it, and then we'll go into our picks for the week. This week's Science Hour with Duke is the word entropy. Duke, what's entropy?
I know that word.
Entropy.
It's engineering.
I don't know.
Entropy is.
I could go. Can I go with two directions on this one?
Yes, we'll go with the first one.
Okay, first one is the measurement of how big trophies are.
Absolutely, that's correct. Next.
And when you send too many drunk texts the next morning and you're full of entropy.
Honestly, I gotta say, the last year of being single was full of much entropy.
Oh my god, so much.
There's so much entropy.
But I guarantee most people listening don't know what entropy
Absolutely.
is.
No, of course
Unless
not.
they
But
do,
that's
and
why-
I'm a retard.
No, it's awesome. Don't worry. Go.
But
with
you know
it.
what I mean? Entropy, like...
Guys, don't send entropic texts. So this week we have again. I'm gonna let you go with your pick and give me 3 or 4 words as to why. Team 4th and 20 versus Part of My Swag. Go.
Part of my swag.
Because of
Amazing defense.
agreed. Beast Mode versus TMNB.
I'm going to go beast mode.
Okay, how come?
Awesome team name.
I'm gonna go Beast Mode for the exact same reason. Orange Crush versus The Mean Machine.
I'm going to go probably with Orange Crush.
I'm gonna go The Mean Machine. You gotta complete more than one pass.
Yeah,
to
I
get
think
trust.
so. I don't know. You never know.
Balls Deep into the Sun Bros. Who wins it?
Balls Deep, also a great team name.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Sun Bros. I kind of like what they did first.
Balls
week.
Deep up in the Sun Bros.
That's true. That's true. Tigers versus Diablos.
Well, I'm trying to look at it like in an actual standard. If Tigers would fight Devils, Devils would probably win.
I saw Diablos go toe to toe this week with Part of My Swag, so I'm gonna go Diablos.
Awesome.
Wolfpack versus Mountain Goats.
Oh, definitely Wolfpack.
Wolfpack was probably the biggest team. I question whether or not Mountain Goats were allowed to play in this league because they look really young. I'm gonna go Wolfpack for that reason.
And also
but Mountain Goats, go out and beat Terry Tam. I will buy you all a slice of pizza if you do.
And there's a guy on that team called Ali Jazz. I'm sure I destroyed his name. I'm sure it's not called Ali Jazz.
That's an awesome name though. Let's go with it. From
and
now on, your name is Ali Jazz.
And he had two INTs. So
The Minge
that's
versus
it.
Flagrant Fouls.
I never choose the Minge.
All right, I'm gonna also go against the Minge.
Cool.
I saw them play this. I played against them this week. They're not clean yet. Once they clean it up, they'll win some games. We
He's
have
gonna-
LA's Finest versus the Pocket Watch. I'm not gonna pick this one. because
Wait.
I always think I'm gonna
The
win.
pack
No, LA's Finest
versus
the Pocket Watch.
the Pocket Watch. Right.
What do you say? I can't pick it, but it's me. So, what do you think?
Definitely not picking Pocket Watch. And LA's Finest by 35.
Cool. So we'll make you look bad this week. No problem.
Awesome.
Goon Squad versus Wax On Wax Off.
Wax on, wax off by 5.
Wax On Wax Off by 7.
Yeah.
Obamacare versus Smoking Axtolists.
I really know. I don't
It's
know
a
how to pronounce that
Mexican
name.
water lizard.
It's a Mexican water lizard.
An Axtolist is a
Sounds like a
Mexican
sex
water
term.
lizard. It can be,
So-
depending what you have sex with.
It was. Sorry. What was it? What was the selection?
Obamacare versus Smoking Axtolists.
Well,
I'm not pronouncing it at all.
I'm gonna go with Obamacare.
I'm gonna go with Obamacare as well. I believe in it. NWO versus Jean-Guy.
Ooh, and this is a very tumultuous matchup from the previous
From
season.
previous season,
Yes.
absolutely. Rivalry.
It's a rivalry matchup.
Wednesday night
and,
rivalry.
and I think it's going to be a tie game.
Tie game?
Yep.
I'm kind of...
I'm throwing out ties up here.
I can't go with a tie just yet. I'm going to say NWO takes it just because I do believe they're going to be one of the strongest teams of the division. I want to touch on one thing. This is my Thursday night lesson plan. Guys, body control. It's important. It's something they got to think of. I say all the time, I've been hit hard playing in high divisions, Division 3 for example. I get hit hard. It doesn't hurt as much as when I get laid out in Division 5 and 6. And I'll tell you why. These Division 3, Division 2, as you move up, guys know how to control their bodies. You know when you have to lay up. know when you have a chance to make a play. Don't go out to hurt people.
Okay, wait. Let's rewind a second.
You gotta make it quick. This is my sign off.
So you're okay. So you're saying that people just need to be more careful.
Be more careful. Absolutely.
Control that boud.
Control that bow. Absolutely. That's what you gotta do. Just go out there, play hard, but at the same time, know when you're making a play and know when you're just being a jerk.
Don't aim low. Don't aim low.
Don't try and hurt somebody.
Yeah.
It's okay to play hard. At the same time, don't play stupid.
Right. We all work the next morning.
Absolutely.
Not you though.
You are. I do. You are these Della, Reeze
At Dave's Republic.
at Dave's Republic. Eagle, thanks for turning all them wonderful knobs. You of course can be followed at Eagle FPF. Till next week. Well, I'm always at Peeze FPF, but till next week, remember, she's lost.
Take
that
out-
love and feeling.
Take out the trash.